What's up, guys? Welcome to the trade room. It's Q here, and we are here for the part two of the trilogy: XRP, Ripple, and the XRP Ledger. It's been 3 months since I covered them. We're going to talk about my plan and my prediction, but we need to go through a little bit of the trilogy before we go ahead and understand the opportunity for the investment. Now, why do I invest in XRP? I'm a long-term investor. I believe in the long-term success of XRP. And I also like to invest in technology that actually makes a difference in this world. So, in order to really understand the technical analysis portion of things, and I will be getting into the technical analysis portion of things, we need to understand how the three-headed monster affects the matrix, right? We need to understand what you may see that's put in front of you, aka a lawsuit from the SEC, but also what is actually going on, what's actually happening to the business, what's happening to Ripple, what's happening to the XRP ledger, the blockchain that it's on, and what's happening with XRP and its price movement. So that's what we're going to go over today. We take a quick look at the current market condition, and things look bullish. Bitcoin is at an all-time across the all-time high, and it's kind of chilling here at 63. Ethereum at 4,200. And we have XRP at 110 here. Now, the interesting thing is, last time that I made my video, which was 3 months ago, XRP was at 58 cents, and now it's at 110. That's close to about 100% return on my investment. I am not upset about that. And we have a long way to go. The total market cap right now, we tested that all-time high of 2.5 trillion and have now surpassed that. Things look bullish in the market. All right. So let's get into the gist of what we're doing here. Now, what we have here is Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway makes a $500 million invest in Brazilian digital bank. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, we said the three-headed monster. You have Ripple. So we're going to attack Ripple first. And what does the Warren Buffett investment have to do with anything? Well, Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway made a $500 million investment in the parent company, Nubank. All right. And Nubank is held a digital bank based in Brazil. All right. It's a financial firm. Now, what does that have to do with anything? Well, big money knows big money, right? And Nubank will use Ripple to provide international transfers, right? So Warren Buffett sees what's going on and he's putting his money out there. I'm putting my money out there, right? And we're investing in what we believe will come to fruition or what's headed in front of this company. Now, again, we're talking about Ripple, the three-headed monster. Well, what else is going on with Ripple? Well, right now, Ripple chilling. They're on their Twitter. They're talking about XRP Ledger updates. They got different plans with developers. They're hiring engineers. They're going about business like ain't no lawsuit going on because they also understand that this lawsuit was pretty much a attempt to slow their business down. And I won't get into everything that's going on in the lawsuit. But if you've been following this long enough, you understand that Ripple, the $10 billion evaluated company, is doing everything they need to do with a lot of transparency. And the lawsuit that's happening is just a crux. And to just finish off the Ripple portion of things, there has been an extension in the case, and the judge has extended certain things. So the case summary judgment resolution, which is basically where the end of the case would be, where the judge has to make a statement or make a decision on Ripple's fair defense notice, but also can make an impact on if Ripple is labeled as security moving forward. That now can be stretched to May. But understand, a settlement can happen at any time. I just wanted you guys to get a quick understanding of Ripple and what's going on with the first part of the three-headed monster. The last thing that you see here is the actual CEO of Ripple, and I just want you to hear him speak about his own company, because a lot of times you can hear it come from me, but this is the actual CEO on where Ripple is currently at, so we can leave that whole Ripple segment, move on to the XRP ledger, and then XRP price movement within itself. But let's take a listen.
Despite the headwinds from the SEC, we have had a record year on a ton of different dimensions. here in the United States, we have signed exactly 0 new customers and we've lost customers here in the United States because they're like, hey, look, until the United States regulatory framework is clear, we need to lean out. And yeah, that puts headwinds. But despite that, we've grown, the last quarter, we grew 33% quarter over quarter. So that's, we feel very good about that. Actually, one of the parts of our technology that I think, Chris, you're familiar with, on-demand liquidity, which is where we use XRP to shuttle liquidity for financial institutions, that grew 130% quarter over quarter. So demand for the solutions we have is high. That growth all.
I'm gonna just stop right there. The Ripple case done. Okay. We got an understanding of what's going on. Okay. Quarter over quarter, the actual company is up 33%. But the specific product on demand liquidity on demand is up 130%. Let's move on. We now come to the XRP ledger, right? We talked about Ripple. We've talked about Ripple in the previous video. We're now on to the XRP ledger. The XRP ledger, and there's big news for the XRP ledger. Ripple development team rolls out preview of massive XRP ledger upgrade. All right. Now, what does this upgrade include? Well, the upgrade could unleash decentralized finance, DeFi, and smart contracts across the border or the broader XRP ecosystem without decreasing XRP's efficiency. So the XRP ledger and Ripple using the XRP ledger is killing the payments game. And they made sure to kill the payments game and be that on-demand liquidity. And now they have said, hey, the rest of what's going on in crypto, boom, XRP Ledger, let's open up to it. So pretty much, why is DeFi so important? Well, decentralized finance is a system by which financial products become available on a public decentralized blockchain network. That makes them open to anyone to use rather than going through middlemen like banks and brokerages. So DeFi is just a way, as a financial product that allows you to store your money somewhere, invest your money somewhere, get back interest, get back yield. You can farm it. There's so much interest or incentivized positive structures that are set up for individuals in crypto to get a lot of yield from their money instead of putting it in a bank and not really getting back anything and getting hit with overdraft. Let me stop. Let me stop that whole overdraft thing. So we're gonna move on, right? So DeFi, even if you don't know what DeFi is, you know what 1 + 2 + 1 million + 2 billion is. So DeFi, in its entire lifetime, the financial products that it provided via blockchain and cryptocurrency was about 2.1 million in 2017, right? About 4 years ago in 2017, and has grown now to over 103 billion locked up in DeFi. Now, that kind of growth over a 4 year period is astronomical. Okay. And Ethereum has been holding about 75% of that DeFi space. And now the XRP ledger is opening their doors to some of the best engineers in the world and developers in the world to go ahead and use the XRP ledger with those federated side chains to create DeFi products. I've already started seeing companies and blockchain technology, blockchain companies come and use the XRP ledger and giving the XRP holders a lot of free stuff. I've gotten a lot of free stuff just for holding XRP and being a part of that ecosystem. So that's just the XRP ledger. Okay. You have the company, then you have the blockchain that it's on, which is the XRP ledger, the most efficient, fastest, cheapest ledger, and the best financial instruments creator for the financial world here in the XRP ledger. Now let's move on to Neo. Okay, let's move on to Neo. We spoke about Trinity. Okay, we spoke about Morpheus. Now let's move on to Neo, and this is going to allow me to go ahead and do a little bit of price breakdown. I don't want my videos to be too long. They go out and stretch to about a half hour sometimes. I'm trying to crunch 15 minutes in here, It may go to about 18 minutes, but I won't be doing another one of these updates for a while. So just bear with me on this long extended breakdown here. If you stay to see what Morpheus is in Ripple, what Trinity is in the XRP ledger, you're gonna want to see what XRP price movement is, and XRP, the one, Neo, what's in store for him. And in order for me to really paint a picture for you, you don't have to understand a lot about technical analysis. I just want to paint a picture for you, and I think you should be able to get that picture of where XRP is headed. And in order for us to do that, we are going to use Ethereum. Okay. Now, with Ethereum, what we're looking for is what? Okay. We're looking for all-time high, which is all-time high, the previous all-time high, and then we're looking for an impulse. Okay, very simple things here. Previous all-time high in 2018, and then an impulse. We're gonna go over cup and handles. So these are different patterns that you should be looking for when you're looking to invest in someone or something or an asset. We're looking at cup and handles, big formations that it creates to determine what's going to happen, or if this thing is looking positive slash bullish, or if it's looking negative slash bearish. And then we're going to look at parabolic trends, right? Because people are getting into crypto. You're in crypto. I'm into crypto. Why? Because crypto has shown a tendency to have parabolic movements. So when I'm making an investment decision, I'm looking to see if all three of those things fall intact. Now, there are more things, more tools that you can use, but to paint a picture for you of why XRP at the current stage and cycle that it's in is a much better investment than a Bitcoin, than an Ethereum, than a Dogecoin, than a Shiba Inu. This kind of breakdown will help you to understand that. So we're going to look at trend and comparison, three trends, and then we're going to look at my price prediction. Okay. We're going to start by looking at Ethereum first, because we have to see history. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Cardano, Dogecoin, those type of coins, they move earlier within the 4-year cycle of Bitcoin. You'll see their prices moving up early within that cycle. What happens with things like XRP mainly, but a few other coins as well, is XRP price movement moves later within the cycle. It is just known to spend 80% of its life literally just chilling, cradling, not moving, and going berserk 20% of its life. That's one statistical pinpoint that we can use to make our decision on what we want to invest in. But it's important to know that Ethereum tends to do what? Tends to move right behind Bitcoin because it has the second largest market cap, but it also has a lot of development on the Ethereum virtual machine. So let's attack our first technical point, which we did with comparing this when they move in a cycle. The second technical point that we want to look at is the all-time high versus the impulse. You have the all-time high of Ethereum here, you have a drop down low here to the bottom, and then you have an impulse. So all-time high of 2018. When did the impulse happen? The impulse happened here March of 2020. All right. And since that impulse, Ethereum Ethereum is up a total of 5,312% in a period of 574 days. Okay, so from the impulse, that's how well Ethereum has done. Now, it's had a few battles here. It formed another cup and handle here. But speaking of cup and handles, we have the first large cup and handle that's formed here for Ethereum. So we spoke about all-time high to the impulse. Now we have a very one of the most basic formations to notice in cryptocurrency is a cup and handle. And it's not a short time frame cup and handle. We have a cup and handle from the all-time high of 2018 all the way down to where the all-time high got touched again February of this year, February of 2020. And what happened there is that it had a little bit of a battle here before it decided to do what? It decided to go parabolic. And then speaking of this cup and handle, we have this cup and handle here. And then you have parabolic trends. Again, we're only going over 3 technical pinpoints here, but there are a lot that you can look at. So parabolic trends. The parabolic trend that we see for Ethereum here, and you can kind of draw it when you go, and we'll do the same thing for XRP, is you want to see the parabolic trend create what? Create a U from that previous all-time high, right? So we have the previous all-time high of Ethereum, right? And we're going to do a parabolic trend by drawing what? Trend lines to see how Bitcoin got to that parabolic move. So we have one trend line here from here to here, right? You can say, okay, cool. The Ethereum had this move here from that impulse that we spoke about, and it went up, right? And so if you were tracking it, you would draw another trend here to the next point of trend. Okay, that's awesome. And then you're starting to see the angle of those trends kind of start to get tighter and tighter and tighter and point what? And point higher and higher and higher. So what's the next trend that we're going to draw here? We're going to draw a trend endpoint here. And by this time, it's July of 2021. Okay. So this impulse here started March of 2020. And by the time we got this longer trend line, it's July of 2021. But we have another trend line here. Boom. And again, that trend line was pretty flat, got a little angled, and got really angled, right? And so again, if we're continuing to draw trend lines, what would we do here? Now, this trend has yet to complete or anything like that, and I'm kind of like hovering over the trend lines here just to kind of show it, but I can draw it a little better here, okay? But we'll draw one more trend line that we can draw here, and we'll just follow this movement here, right? If it continues to have this movement here. So what do we then do now? What we do now is we squeeze this chart a little bit tight here. We squeeze it tight here, and then what do we see? We see that since that impulse, right? Since that impulse, Ethereum's long trend lines have created a parabolic movement. And you can see it ran up here to about 4,372. It came back down here to test the trend, ran up again, came back down to test the trend. But overall, what is it doing? It's absolutely going parabolic when you look at it in this time frame. So what do? We come back to XRP, we come back to the prodigal son. And if we want to see when XRP could possibly make that parabolic move, we have to apply the 3 things that we applied to Ethereum. What was the first one? Well, the first one was the all-time high to the impulse. So we have XRP's all-time high here, January 18th. And we have it the bottom here, and then we have what looks like what? An impulse. And if I go to a shorter time frame, we can see that a little better. Okay, so we have this impulse here, and so we have all-time high to impulse. Okay, awesome. What else do we have? We have cup and handle, right? And so a cup and handle has to form that U, and so we have this U shape that's forming here. But do we know if it's going to complete that U shape? Well, you might not be able to know if it's going to complete that U shape if you're looking at it with just those 2 things, just the all-time high and the impulse, and possibly a cup and handle. We don't know, right? So what do you want to do then? You want to move on to that third portion. The same thing we did for Ethereum. We're now going to draw those trend lines, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and use the day metric here. I'm gonna stretch it out a little bit so I can do what? So I can draw better trend lines. And so what do we have here? We have the previous all-time high here in 2018, and then we have what we currently have going on here. So as we did for Ethereum, all right, we're going to draw from the impulse, we're going to draw the first trend line. Boom, this is the first trend line here. Okay, cool. Within that trend, XRP bounced, ran up really high to about $1.96, and then kind of dropped from there. So maybe we were scared. So let's do it. Let's draw another trend line from point end to point end. Now, when you're looking for parabolic movement, you want to see that what? That line may start a little flat, may look a little level, but you want to see that line continue to do what? Continue to curve. So what we're going to do is, we say, hey, we have another data point. We have another data point for a possible trend line. So what are we going to do? we are going to draw that trend line from what? From point to point. Okay, awesome. And then what do we have? We have one more trend line. I wish we had more information on this, but we don't. And we're going to draw from point to point. And so what we see here is if it continues to follow this trend line, it may extend here. Now, what we want to do now is we want to shrink this down to the week and we want to take a look at it here. Well, what do we see starting to happen? We're starting to see that trend line get into a higher and a higher and a higher and a higher angle, looking to possibly do what? Looking to possibly test that all-time high to create that U shape, create that cup and handle, and I'll just draw it out. We're looking for the price movement to create that U shape. All right. Test the all time high, create the possible cup and handle, and then boom, take off from there. Like what did? Just like how Ethereum did as we were looking at it here. So I know I made this a little long, but I just wanted you guys to understand the beauty of charting and how trend lines can really, really help in understanding the parabolic movements um, of whatever investment you're looking to get in, especially if you know that in crypto, things tend to go parabolic. So what I want to do now is basically the same thing I did for Ethereum was to draw. Again, we use the all-time high, we draw from the all-time high, and then we draw to where? We draw to where that impulse happened, right? So if I draw to where that impulse happened for Ethereum, all-time high to impulse, this thing called the Fibonacci retracement, this little colorful thing here, tells me what are the possible prices for Ethereum. And we can see that the prices of things tend to respect the different tools that we use. Okay, so we can see here Ethereum, the all-time high. It had this bear market here. It hit this impulse. It broke out of this red area. It ran to, let's say, the 2618 Fibonacci retracement here. It got rejected, came back down, and now is doing what? Is forming from this big cup and handle, is forming another cup and handle here. And we see the handle that created this little downwards trend here. Uh-oh. We created this little downwards trend here, right? Which created this channel, which what? Is shot right out of there, shot right out of the handle. And we're expecting that if Ethereum continues this bullish movement, that the fib says that it has a high of 5,894 not percent price from where it's at currently at 4,183. And I think it does that get there. And I think it actually goes a lot further than that because of what's going on in DeFi, decentralized finance, and the amount of volume that's coming through there. But we're gonna do what? We're gonna apply the same thing to what? To XRP from the previous all-time high to the bottom low area here. Boom, from the high to the low, we get what? We get the fib retracement telling us that it's a possible high here. If XRP continues to follow that parabolic trend that it's creating, it's about a high of $13.60. So that is my lower estimates price prediction. That is my very conservative price prediction for XRP is $13, which is a 13x from where we currently are. So with that 13x in mind, with XRP price being at $1, I sit very comfortably knowing that XRP has yet to do what it needs to do within the cycle. We also know a few things. We also know that the summary judgment resolution, the time where the XRP court case, the judge has to make a decision, if it does go that long, is March and May of 2022. We got that from Jeremy Hogan here, which you should follow him on Twitter. We got that from Jeremy Hogan here for May and March. That's where we'll know for sure what's happening and what's going on. So what did we do here? We went ahead and drew a horizontal line here right through that date, and we have April of 2022. So whatever the price movement of XRP is doing, I didn't mean to draw that. Whatever the price movement of XRP is doing down here, whenever this news happens, which is a few months from now, a lot of times when you're looking at time, you kind of think, "Oh my gosh, it's so far away." But if you look at the current place where we're at, October 24th, where we're at, and how much time we have to get to the summary judgment, again, my plan, which I said I would tell you guys, my plan is to still accumulate XRP from the $1.09 range it's at here to what? To probably as close to the all-time high as possible. I'll probably stop buying it around that 196 mark if I get to a place where I feel like I have enough XRP. But the thing that you should know as an investor is you have time. You have so much time to accumulate and build up the numbers in this investment because the case, if it did stretch out, if a settlement doesn't happen tomorrow, you might not have that much time. But if a settlement doesn't happen within the next few months, you have all the time to accumulate and stack your XRP. But what's important to know as well is it's not just a court case, it's not just a three-headed monster. What's really, 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 and this is what I'll finish the video on, going to increase that possible $13 price prediction obviously is not just the fact that when the case is over, XRP and utility coins might continue to see increased price appreciation because it will be the only cryptocurrency to have gotten some sort of regulatory clarity on if it is a security or not, and that is for April of 2022, you have the ISO 222 International Payment Standards launching in the end of 2022. Now, if you don't know about the ISO 222, you can always go to my previous video, the part one of the trilogy between XRP Ledger, and Ripple, and see what the ISO 222 is. But really quickly, the ISO 222 is the international standard for statements for payments which financial institutions use all around the world. Ghana uses it, country uses it, big businesses use it, and they're updating their system. And as they're updating their system, Ripple was the first distributed ledger technology company to be a part of this ISO 222 governing council. And so the ISO 222 messages for cross-border payments sounds like Ripple and cash reporting businesses starting for the end of 2022. So that is why I have drawn the ISO 222 here. So when you look again at the price movement of XRP and where XRP is right now, we only have that much time until the international standards payments that's changing, that starts at the end of 2022. The technology behind XRP, the XRP ledger, and the company that's pushing that technology forward starts to be used globally. It's already being used. Ripple's already being used by over 200 institutions, banks, businesses. But you're now going to start getting volume on the XRP ledger, and volume precedes price. Volume always precedes price. And so, what am I expecting the price of XRP to be at based on these timelines? Well, the ISO 222 standards starts November or the end of 2022, and Bitcoin has its next halving, its next what I call cleaning cycle. It starts that in 2024, and we have the next Bitcoin cycle that starts between 2023 and 2025. I expect XRP, once we hit that bull market, if we don't hit a super cycle for utility coins, I expect XRP to be at the price of $150 to $300. And that to me is just a fair estimation of where XRP can be based upon the three-headed monster, the combination of these services that are being provided, and the fact that XRP appreciates in price when the XRP ledger is being used more. And when the case does settle, Ripple will be able to expand their business within the US at some point. And we know that all floodgates will open within that case. So that is my timelines. That is my plan. My plan is to continue buying XRP up until it gets to that $2, $3 range. I will sell like 5% of my XRP when it does run for this particular bull market, the end of this market, which some are saying that it's expected to end within the end of this year or within Q2 or Q1 of 2022. It doesn't matter to me. All I am watching is the price movements and using my tool to gauge when I want to sell. But I will be holding on to XRP for life, at least 60% of my XRP for life, because the long-term vision is really, really bullish. The long term price movement, the long term technicals, and the long term trajectory of this three headed monster says that we can get to 150 to $300 if we just are patient, continue to dollar cost average in. And that kind of a return, 100 to 300x type of return, a 10,000 to 20,000% type of return is what I am looking for. I am not buying Ethereum. I'm not buying Bitcoin. I'm not buying Dogecoin. I'm not buying anything anymore that has already touched its all-time high and surpassed that from the impulse. So that's about everything that I have for today. I'm looking at a 100 to 300x from here in my XRP investment. We're already up close to 100% since 3 months ago when I made this video, and it really isn't too late to get in. So folks, that is all I have for today. And I'll catch you later. That's the official trilogy update.